Hey guys, it's that male CNA once again doing another video. Today we are on the road. Today I really wanted to talk to you guys about random thoughts on healthcare and the COVID-19 vaccines. That could be Moderna, Pfizer, or the Johnson & Johnson. So recently I had gotten the first stage of the Pfizer vaccine, which is available to all healthcare workers. After following up and reading some of the side effects of the second, I was very hesitant to get the second, and I ended up not doing it. I know the crazy conspiracy right-leaning warriors out there are going to be like, well, you shouldn't have gotten it, you're going to be a mind-controlled brain puppet of the elite. I'm sitting here and I'm just like, well, wanted to keep myself safe at first, but then, reading into a little bit more about it, I just don't feel like it is a good decision to be making right now. I'd rather wait it out and see what happens. So in regards to some of the horror stories I've heard with those single-stage dose vaccines, especially in women, causing issues in their body, which is completely insane. Maybe we should have waited it out. People should have waited a little bit longer to get those vaccines. I believe I've heard something around heart attacks happening, as long as with the blood clotting issues and stuff like that. So a lot of the residential population inside the facility had taken, I believe, the Pfizer vaccine as well, or Moderna, whatever it was, and no one has really had any, apparent any long-term debilitating side effects. Of course, COVID in general affected a lot of the residents differently. One of my patients has a neurological disorder that had caused him to feel invisible pains in his legs after he had gotten COVID. I've had other ones that had, I forgot what the exact term or technical, name for the issue is with one of the residents. He has an issue with his legs where he has a phantom sleep pains and stuff like that, where it just, it's basically where your leg randomly falls asleep, but that's besides the point. So back to what I wanted to get into. The COVID vaccine, to me, I just feel as though it's not ready really to be given out properly. It has to be tested more properly for a little bit longer before I'm really comfortable with getting a second dose or just redoing the whole thing again. I know a lot of extended family and friends have gotten the vaccine, as long as with a lot of other healthcare workers out there. And then I know some who are completely against it. People who say, oh no, they should have done more testing to begin with. It was a disaster to even try and get it in the first place. And just that, it shouldn't have been done. You can't blame them. Everybody has differing opinions. Now let me discuss with you guys about another topic I wanted to discuss today. That is a resident abuse and neglect. This is something to me that has been really abhorrent in today's healthcare system, due to inadequate staffing and just due to the fact that no one wants to do what we're doing right now, especially because everyone's so deathly afraid of COVID, even though New York State's pretty much opened back up to pretty much normalcy at this point, except that if you don't have a mask, or excuse me, if you didn't get maxed, you have to be masked, which is stupid. I don't understand why. If you choose not to wear a mask and you choose not to wear a mask, it's your own ass is going to get bitten up, like COVID-19 or whatever the hell else is going on out there. So what really is important to me about resident abuse and neglect is, why does it happen? So it could be due to inadequate staffing, people not doing their jobs properly, or they just don't have enough manpower at the time. We had an incident a couple weeks ago where a resident's family member called in and was like, yada yada yada, I want this person changed, returned position every 2 hours, things within their reach at all times. To me, that's just basic, no shit. That is what should happen. There should be things, the call bell should be within reach, the oversight table should be over them while they are in the bed, unless they specifically say not to. So why do people not properly change their residents? I'm literally making rounds. A lot of people I know that are heavy wetters, I could be in there every 45 minutes to an hour. I always make a slot at least once an hour to I know to change my 2 or 3 heaviest wetters, because like I said, On the assignment that you have, you know you have to go in there and change those people every 2 to 3 hours, especially if it's just a normal person who knows he goes to the bathroom or relieves himself, or you have to toilet, change and position people every 2 or 3 hours. Now, I'm not saying that someone's going in there and beating the shit out of one of their residents. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that resident abuse and neglect can come in so many different forms. There's physical, emotional, mental. And there's so many different types of neglect and abuse that can happen. You know, stealing from residents, putting them down, physically hurting them. That type of thing just shouldn't happen to begin with, obviously. But the problem is that if you have inadequate staffing and you are not able to go in and change these people every 2 hours due to the fact that there's only 2 aides for 40 residents or 2 aides for 60 residents, because believe me, I've been in that situation before. I know how it is. But I still go in and I try and make my rounds every 2 hours, even though you sometimes just can't do that. I've been in a certain facility where on the overnight where I've done 11 to 7, you know, I've done every shift 11 to 7, 3 to 11s, and 7 to 3s, where I've done a 7 to 7, 7:30 to 7 a.m., and that's just insane. I hate that shit. But back to what I'm saying. I always make sure my people are dry. I know a lot of people out there, other aides, who take shortcuts and they just stuff a goddamn chuck underneath the person and just leave them sitting in there and piss for the entire night. That type of crap I cannot stand. Like I said, it's the residents' homes. We are there to make a difference in their lives, not ours. I provide the care. Yes, of course I have to be there for a paycheck because I have to provide for my family too. You know, paying rent, all that good stuff. But at the end of the day, I always make sure my people are squared away. There's no reason why a person's diaper should be literally sticking to their back, and the material, the sponge-like gauze material inside the incontinence briefs is getting stuck to their ass. That's just insane. And one too many times that's happened, and I cannot stand that. And let's talk about the different aspects of not properly turning and positioning people, and that aspect of neglect of duty. So it really comes down to the fact that you can't properly take care of someone if you're not doing your job right. So what does that do? How does that affect the resident long term? So improper positioning and turning can lead to improper turning and positioning. So when you have someone who is not being properly positioned and turned, you can have skin breakdown, you can have a pressure ulcer on the coccyx or the glandular folds, whatever you fancy people out there want to call it. It leads to severe redness and skin irritation. And when you know someone's properly being taken care of, someone who's called a critical, or someone who's a total care, they are someone who needs to be constantly turning position. But you know people have good skin, you know that they're being taken care of properly. I've taken care of residents where I'll go in there for 2 or 3 months and that redness and irritation goes away because I know that I'm properly turning and positioning them, especially if you have administration all over your ass. But you shouldn't only be doing your job because you're afraid of getting in trouble. That to me is disgusting and abhorrent. Sorry, loud car back there. So you need to take care of your job, because improper incontinence care, not taking care of catheters or any type of Foley catheter that's inserted in the head of the penis and the shaft, goes all the way down to the bladder, blows up, you put the balloon in, and all the pee comes straight out. That's a catheter. That's pretty much the same way for a female, except you put it in the urethra. Anyways, not taking care of that. I've come in and I've seen catheters, covered in fecal matter, and I take the time, clean it up, get the guys taken care of, and they're yippee on their way. But if you don't take care of stuff like that, it can lead to urinary tract infections, skin breakdown due to feces. I've literally seen feces crusted on people. That you can't. I don't understand why or how you do that. If you know someone is a heavy wetter and you know someone is a heavy number 2 type of person, then you've got to go ahead and properly turn and position them. That to me is the most important aspect of when you're putting someone to bed. I don't like to put the people to bed too early because I know that they're a heavy wetter. I know that I'm going to have to go in there and change them frequently. And but there is some people that I put into bed because I know that they've been up all day, especially if I come in I usually work day shift 7 to 3 at the place that I am at currently. I go in there and make sure my people are good. I make sure that they're squared away for the night shift. I make sure everyone's changed that needs to be. People who are in bed are in bed. I told those who needed to be changed. I have a routine every single day when I come in. That's just how it works. That's just how it should work. But the meaning of this video is, you people need to learn how to do incontinence care no matter what facility you're at, no matter where you're working. As long as you are a CNA, make sure you're changing your damn people. You literally can change their entire mood just by going in there, cleaning them up, getting them ready for bed, throw them in there, and that's it. Yeah, of course, there's Hoyers to assist, easy stands. You can get the help. I understand, critical staffing and all that bullshit nonsense, but no, at the end of the day, you will always find someone to help you if need be. Guarantee it. Alright, guys.